ServiceMaster is here to help you and your family after emergencies.
Whether you have fire, water, and mold damage, or need reconstruction,
We are here 24/7, 365 days a year. We at ServiceMaster want to wish you a safe and happy holiday season. The stats show that between 2011 to 2015, tree fires caused an average of 6 deaths, 16 injuries, and $15 million in property damage. We do not want you to become a statistic. The first thing is always make sure that your smoke and your carbon monoxide detectors are in working order. Make sure that batteries are new, and if they're hardwired, make sure that those are checked as well. Take the time. Those could be your life protectors. Because you are 2.5 times more likely to die in a Christmas tree fire than a regular house fire, it's important that you water your tree daily. When you bring it home, cut about 1/2 inch to 1 inch off the bottom of the tree trunk to make sure that that water is absorbed throughout the tree. When it comes to the Christmas tree lights, make sure that they are UL rated. Check to make sure that your cords are not frayed and that your outlets truly can handle what you're plugging them into. Make sure you do not put furniture or rugs over these cords. If you do have pets in your home, often they can chew the wires, or just pushing things around or changing where the furniture is or where the rug is can make the difference whether they work properly or not. Too many fires have been caused by candles during the holiday season. We use them for fragrance and we use them for ambiance throughout the house. Oftentimes we don't think twice about it and we place them next to something else. But keep in mind, a flame of a candle never stands alone. Make sure before you go to bed, whether you leave your home, that the flames are always extinguished on your candles. Don't get distracted. Go back and check. Always make sure that that flame is out. It can make the difference between an ambiance in your home and no longer having one to come home to. Keep all your exits clear. Packages, check them outside, and make sure you just don't place them by the door so you can't get out. You always want to keep a clear exit. In the unfortunate event a fire does occur in your home, leave immediately. Call 911 when you're outside and never ever return to the home. The fatal mistake has often been made by people returning to their homes. Once you are out, stay out. Now please join us outside while Todd and I demonstrate how fast a fire can spread.
we have constructed an 8x12 burn cell. This will allow you to see how aggressive a fire can be in a short amount of time. Now here we are at the Fairfield Fire Department training grounds. You will see just how dangerous a dry Christmas tree fire can be.
Take particular attention to where the tree is in this room, and you'll see it not only to the closeness to the items, but its actual placement in the room, which also will change the dynamics of a fire. Take a look at the items in the room. They're all fuel sources, and as you see them ignite, you'll see how much that they feed that fire. Right now, you're looking at a fuel source, and that is that candle. Something next to it is that book. That is an extension of that fuel source. Underneath the carpet, making sure that we're not interfering with the electrical activity to that tree.
You're also going to see just how little time that you have from the start of fire to the smoke detector activating.
We're going to see 4 stages of the fire. You'll see what we call the incipient stage, the growth stage, fully developed, and then ultimately the decay, which is the bank down of the fire towards the end. So right now we're in the incipient stage of the fire, and we're seeing that it's bringing other items around it, packages.
And looks right now the Christmas gifts are on fire.
Call 911 and get out of this building to call them. We spoke about this. Do not stand there and call 911. Get out. Slowly getting into the growth stage as it feeds into items around it, and every one of those items feeds into what it needs to consistently keep those flames up. So it's getting more oxygen, it's getting more fuel right now, and it's causing a chemical reaction. At this point, you can hear the fire alarm activated. 46 seconds into it.
Yeah. Also, just recently we had the smoke detector activation. Right now you can see the fire rolling across the ceiling of the fire. We're having rollover We're having some flame over, and you're going to also start to see some drop down from the ceiling, getting to the other parts of the contents of the room. And we're almost at fully involved, and you can feel the heat from about 25 feet away.
We can see everything's being consumed in the room. Everything is becoming fuel for that fire, feeding it in.
We're only about a minute and 35 seconds into this fire. The fire has full control of the room.
So the items such as the couch in there, and everything is actually the fuel. There's an oil content to that, the type of fabric it is. Everything in that room has something to offer to that fire. So now we're in full growth, fully developed.
We're fully developed, and we're going to expect in the next minute or so, we're going to have extinguishment.
And again, it keeps going, full growth, taking in everything it can. And this is why we're always saying, make sure you stay out. Once you're out, don't go back in, because this is what happens in, Todd, what we're at probably 30 seconds when we initially saw that we...
Absolutely. It was a very fast, rapid growing fire. And what that's going to tell you is, if you're in the room or in the occupancy, you're not going to have a lot of time to escape.
A lot of smoke, and again, the oxygen, and if you can see how the heat that we're feeling right now, as Todd said, more than 25 feet away, and it's a very, very warm, radiant heat.
Right now, it's anywhere between 12 to 1300 degrees Fahrenheit.
That radiant heat that Todd's speaking about, that'll push you back. You will not enter without radiant heat pushing you back, because you're not supposed to survive in a fire like this. So right at this point, you can see that there's no content in there that is worth going back into. So before the water suppression and the arrival of the fire department, you're beginning to see what we call the decaying stage of the fire, where it's looking for more oxygen, it's looking for more fuel, but it's pretty much taken into a flashover. It's taking everything into the room, and so there's nothing left.
The Fairfield Fire Department is on scene, ready to fight this fire. Those numbers are a little skewed because, again, this is a training video about a Christmas tree fire and how fast the fire will move. Under normal circumstances, when you get out and you call 911, you're probably looking at a 4 to 5 minute response time, depending on the time of day, the road conditions, and other factors.
Just because you don't see fire doesn't mean that it's out. It's there. So you do need to have a fire department in there to properly suppress that fire.
Absolutely, Joyce. I mean, the biggest thing here we also like to talk about is the fire department wearing proper PPE, wearing protective clothing, wearing self-contained breathing apparatus, wearing hoods, helmets, gloves, and operating at a safe distance using the reach of the stream from the hose.
You can smell the off gases of the futon, of anything that's burning in that room. That's toxic to you. That's another reason, not just the fire, but those contents in there are toxic to you, and when the firefighters come, they are equipped to enter that, not you. You made the best decision to stay away from that home and not return.
I'd like to again thank everyone involved. I'd like to thank the Fairfield Fire Department, Chief Bisson and his members. I'd like to thank Mixing It Up Productions for their hard work in making this a reality. 5 minutes and 10 seconds, the burn cell collapses.
So part of that will be because there's copious amounts of water onto this fire, and the weight of that water is going to add to the weakness of that building.
Absolutely. You can see how destructive the fire can be.
We never want this to happen to your home. On behalf of all of us here at ServiceMaster, we wish you a very happy and safe holiday season.
Happy holidays!
When disaster does strike, call ServiceMaster Restore